Mid-October now. We actually had one of the warmest days on Friday that we've had in weeks. So even though I'm saying mid-October, again, we get some really warm days thrown at us, and it's been cooler the last couple mornings. A little windier, feels more like mid-October, so we're falling back in line. Again, forecast this upcoming week looks chilly again, so we are going to be back into fall mode. If you went out fishing on Friday, it probably felt pretty darn good. I saw some pictures on social media of even tank tops on some people, cut off sleeves. That's pretty cool for what Friday was, October 9th. Pretty warm to be in the 80s. That felt good, but rest assured that's going away. Water temps stayed in that upper 50, low 60 degree range. We didn't see a huge drop in water temperatures this last week. It's pretty consistent from what we found a week ago. I expect that to change. I expect when we talk next weekend that we see a drop into the low 50s. That's my prediction. It's going to start to drop a bit. I had a variety of lakes here in the Twin Cities metro area. I did not branch too far outside that area, Minnetonka, Chisago chain. Found some similar characteristics in terms of the water temperatures, like I mentioned, how we caught our fish, where we found our fish. Weeds are laying down. It's super nice. The weeds are laying down. You can fish over the top of some of those shallower weed flats that you could not fish last month, and that's just progressing to get better and better. And this time of year is when I really like to, beat the bank. I'm not a heavy bank fisherman most of the summertime, especially when I'm bass fishing. I'm offshore structure, but this time of year I find myself sliding up closer and closer to the bank. In fact, casting darn near on shore sometimes. You're seeing docks getting pulled. More and more docks are getting pulled all weekend here. I'm seeing land or lake shore owners working on their docks, pulling canopies, pulling docks out. You're seeing docks stacked up on the shorelines already all over the place. I don't care where you are. That's happening, and it's becoming more prevalent. The trees look wonderful. If you're looking to get out on the water and just kind of enjoy the day, we can still do that. It's not so cold that you can't be out there enjoying the day. You get a mid 50 degree day, 60 degree day, and some sun. Throw a hoodie on, throw a pair of sweatpants. It's still comfortable out there on the water, and you can make a day of it. You can cruise around, look at the changing leaves, and yes, make some casts in between. You should definitely have the rod in the boat and make some casts. With that, how are we catching our fish? Once again, we're catching fish on chatterbaits, spinnerbaits, shallow diving crankbaits, reactionary baits. We caught some fish on swim jigs. Buzz baits, caught a bunch of fish this last week, and it's super fun to fish. Buzz bait is basically top. I don't know if I have one. Oh, Jack had one tied on. We went to Mr. Genz's and his daughter's place on Friday afternoon for a get together, and Jack was throwing a buzz bait on the Mississippi River. So if you're not familiar with the buzz bait, which I think many of you are, but if you're not, that's a buzz bait. This plops across the surface. This offering, whether it's a plastic tail like you see here, a skirted head, runs right below the surface, and this plops along the surface, creating a prop effect, creating a little bit of a wake, a little bit of noise vibration, and then the fish come up and take it. So it's intended to be a surface presentation. And Jack caught some smallmouth just chucking this, along the shorelines of the Mississippi River, which is a great time of year too to hit the river. If you don't have a boat, not a big deal. You can cover water, everything's moving shallow, so you can go fish a beach. No one's swimming at the beaches right now. So great time to go to beaches and catch fish, whether it's on Minnetonka, Waconia, Forest Lake, White Bear Lake, any of these public parks or beaches. As these fish move shallower, it gives you prime opportunity to catch these fish. Where for most of the summer, you had swimmers. Maybe the biggest fish weren't up tight, shallow like that. They were out on the weed lines. This time of year, the playing field gets a little more leveled, so if you don't have a boat or you've put your boat away or your pontoon for the season, you can get out there and catch some fish in shallower conditions. You can even throw the hip waders on, the chest waders on, and walk through the shoreline area. It's still not freezing cold yet. The water temps, like I said, are still upper 50s, low 60s. And man, that's where all the fish are. So you can just kind of walk the beaches, make casts, throw your buzz baits, throw a jig, throw a spinnerbait, and catch fish. So it's a good time of year just to get out there and focus on the shallower water presentation type stuff. So chatterbaits, spinnerbaits. You saw the buzz bait. That's a super cool bait to fish. Threw a frog a bit. Didn't catch anything on it. I don't think it's something you should necessarily completely ignore. I think you can still catch some fish on a frog right now. Caught some fish on a jig. Caught some fish on a swim bait. We caught fish on smallie smashers and Kitech swim tails. Caught a bunch of fish on that. Caught fish obviously on wacky rig Kamitas. So the wacky rig is catching a bunch of fish still. There's a variety of ways to catch fish right now. They're moving up. One thing I did find, if I am fishing a jig or a plastic, I'm slowing my approach. So if I'm not getting a bite on the chatterbait or the spinnerbait or something more aggressive, and I feel like there's fish there, I'll come back through and I will slowly almost drag a jig, slow subtle hops back to the boat, and you're just looking for that absence of weight, line movement, anything that feels out of the ordinary. And oftentimes our biggest fish this week came on a very slow presentations where they just pick it up and you're like, I think there's one there. A little bit of weight, set the hook. We caught a lot of numbers on chatterbaits and spinnerbaits and some decent ones, but it seems like those really big bites came on a slower presentation this week, and that can be typical as we move into some of these changing patterns. So I plan to get out there this week, chase down some fish. How exactly we plan to do it, I don't know. It looks like later this week we're going to see cold temps, highs in the 40s, and even some 30s, and some frost warnings I think are predicted later this week. It's mid to late October. That's just kind of what we get. Last year, on yesterday's date, October 10th, I believe we got snow. So you don't know what can be thrown at you here in Minnesota. It's lovely. We just enjoy it. I just wear the appropriate clothing, put on my soft shell Gale hoodie. I'm wearing my Blackfish cold weather gear, staying warm on the water, throw a stocking cap on. It's not about pride, it's about being comfortable. Throw a stocking cap on. You can always take it off and throw it in the glove box of your boat. But it's amazing if you stay warm and you stay comfortable, how much more productive you are catching fish. So, we're going to wrap these reports up here pretty quick. I probably will do one more probably next week. And then after that, we'll be looking at the end of October, Halloween, a number of things. And I'll probably rechannel my focus on ice fishing. Maybe a few more weeks of fishing in the boat, but another week of reports. And then hopefully, if all goes as planned, I'll be back doing some kind of report for ice fishing, talking about what we're finding, some of the ice fishing patterns. So if you like to ice fish, that's coming up. Rest assured, we're going to be ice fishing here in a couple months. So with that, get out there, chase down some fish, have some fun, enjoy kids' fall sports if they're playing sports. My three boys are in football, full swing. We're playing 3 games every Saturday, some games during the week. Super fun. High school football's back in action too on Fridays. Good luck to all you kids out there chasing down touchdowns and all that stuff, or if you're playing volleyball, whatever it might be. So enjoy the rest of your fall. And if this is the end of your season, hope you had a great open water season. Hopefully some of these reports helped you catch a few extra fish. If not, gave you some entertainments or a couple laughs maybe on a Sunday afternoon. So enjoy it. Thanks for a great season. Go catch them.